It's so great to be here to perform for AGT The Champions. I'm so excited!
This is. I can't think of myself doing anything else rather than singing and.
Angelica Hale used to stand on the Being On America's Got Talent with a voice that made everyone in the room speechless. Not many people know that she almost died. When she was only 4 years old, plagued by illness, she was worn out and had to have a kidney removed. Transplant to get her life back while everyone praised how talented she was. Every day, they fight against rejection. A lot of people think Angelica has drugs. Everything but the background is unimaginable stress. This is the story of an Angel who lived, and the unknown stories before she showed up. Angelica Hale had to learn how to hold her breath. She was 4 years old. In the hospital, with acute lung due to bacterial pneumonia. It failed was a rough time because being in the hospital it was hard for a long time, and I didn't think I would make it. Within days, her situation got worse. To sepsis, a very bad problem that over 30% of people who get it die from it. The CDC says that young children the kidneys shut down completely. Doctors will use ECMO, which stands for extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, a breathing membrane device to keep her. She was alive for 80 days in the intensive care unit. With the first 12 days when we thought about life and death, we lived every hour, every beating was Ava Belando, her mother, said in a conversation from 20 to 20 as her vital signs. Once Angelica was stable, she began a nearly 2 years of medicine. That includes dialysis 3 times a week. Every day blood tests showed that the girl weighed just over 13 kg and was tired and sick a lot. Lack of sleep and tiredness, but she still sang, not to work on her voice, but to forget the pain. She sang every time she was scared, even while she was on for Eva 2013. I had no choice but to Eva giving her daughter a kidney because she a scary surgery because Angelica wasn't very healthy and had a high fear of being turned away by the whole family. Got ready for the worst. Luckily the graft worked, but from that point on, Angelica began a new life that lived a life that was just as cruel, dependent on drugs that stop rejection. These drugs, her father said, she had important side effects: weight gain, skin changes caused by chronic tiredness, changes in color, and more. Being vulnerable to any bug, the cold. We can't take her to the crowds in parks, could be dangerous. She has to have her James Hale at least once a month. Her blood was checked. Regularly check the kidneys health, and she always goes to the hospital when has any strange signs like fever, diarrhea, or headaches that won't go away. Even a small fall can be the start of trouble for people who have. Since AGT, Angelica has been following the idea of an attractive girl on stage is a sign of determination. But not many people look behind the lights to see where Angelica is behind the scenes by himself with a doctor on job in case something goes wrong while AGT, The Champions, was being filmed. They had to do this in 2019, changed the filming plan to take medicine at the right time, and I have to take breaks every time I go on stage. It's a deal. Her dad shared what Angelica said in a YouTube video. I know I can't live like other people, but I can stand on stage that day. I haven't been afraid. Beat the illness. For her, singing is a hobby and a way to deal with stress. Plan. But every time, because of that, people mean things about her on social media. It seems like every time she is, if it is seen as emotionless, it leaves. She is not afraid of the scars on her mind, the attention, but she's afraid of not living up to standards because those expectations aren't just about art. Touched the heart of who she is after AGT when the news stopped being about it as serious as it was before. Angelica went to a new stage of life with less noise, but it wasn't easy in the mornings when I was very tired when I woke up, but I was trying to get better at singing because I thought I was moving more slowly at that time. She was only 15 years old at the time. The medicine symptoms got worse, and Angelica became more clear. At one point had to do something else for almost half of this past year because her immune system was. During that time, she was restless and practiced. It's fun to write songs at home herself from giving up on what she loves. Like Angelica has had many other transplant patients, is always filled with the fear that her kidneys will stop working one day. She can go to school, even though she can do it right, that she will never forget that her body depends on something that not hers, and if she loses it, everything will begin again. No anger, no stress, just the truth. Angelica's life isn't a story about a winner, it's a real journey. Limits on how you can live with drugs when no one knows how hard it is for her to go on stage. For her, being sick is just the beginning of the tough times. Part of she keeps herself in a world that is always changing, judging, and a child's need for new things every day. Big stage. After her health got better, Angelica Hale began to follow her lead. Family to music to help her feel better. She took part in community events, sang at local events, and quickly in 2016 with her one-of-a-kind singing, Angelica showed up on the TV show. It was the first time that Little Big Shots, her message was heard across the country. Crowd. That short appearance began with the way to a bigger stage America's Got. In 2017, Angelica showed off her skills on stage. When she was 9 years old, she was on AGT Season 12. She sang "Rise Up" at her tryout, getting the whole crowd to their feet. Of one of the toughest people, Simon Cowell, the judges told her something nice, giving her a lot of praise. During the she sang "Girl on Fire," and the judge cut her off. Got a golden buzzer from a guest, Chris Hardwick. That show not only got her into the final round, but marked the point where things changed Angelica into a well-known name all over social media sites. In the list below, rounds after rounds, she kept doing Clarity, If Not For You, Symphony, and then Stronger. Each show and the finale was a time to watch the amazing growth of a kid who used to be in the hospital. Angelica not only sang, she also ruled the scene, kept her feelings in check, and sent a clear message through each song. She went straight to the top and came in second place at the end of the season. There was a puppeteer right behind Darcy Lynn, a well-known and loved singer. Angelica didn't win, but she left, and marks she left behind. She became the youngest in the history of The Voice to receive the golden buzzer and make it to the finals. It looked like her career was about to take off. Songs quickly went popular on YouTube with millions of views in just a few days. She started getting gigs as a guest during big TV shows and festivals. Angelica was asked to come back in 2019 to What Are the Winners of America's Got Talent, unique publication that brought together outstanding contestants from a number of seasons. She sang "Fight Song" and got another golden buzzer. This time it was from Judge Howie Mandel. A moment in history. Angelica became the youngest person to get 2 in spite of this golden buzzers on AGT. The return also started a new era. More, she wasn't able to make it to the top 3 in the last round. The Open began to split into 2 separate views, that one side continued to back the other person. Asked if Angelica stopped at the TV level event or could go even further in the Angelica knew the music business was tough. The price of her early fame was her busy schedule left little time for a personal life. Sound recording, voice training. She went on tour while she was still going to school and taking care of a kidney transplant she had to deal with. It was a risk, but she never turned it down. For this is heavy enough for a big artist girl, not 13. It's a much bigger responsibility. Sophia can't live like her friends, but she doesn't choose to stay away from it. She stands on stage still, not to say something other than, just because music is the only thing that has ever been with her since she was in the hospital bed. That's sticking with something in a world that needs something new and different. What really sets Angelica apart from the girl who used to be known for almost lost her life is now known for always coming back. But to keep there is a fire of emotion in the media. Angelica needs to accept that she is famous. Very quickly comes and goes, and when it does she need to find her own way, more durable, not as flashy but more real. After a gay Hale had tea after the heat of AGT came out in public with a big fan, beginning with a strong bass and high hopes, putting out her first music album in 2019. The song, Overcome, came out as a personal manifesto that talks about the journey of getting better from illness, and the want to rise up was the song. Good reviews from loyal fans, though it didn't make a big push on the music charts. Show this to be true. It's not simple to change the TV market. Success is not the same thing as success. After this, Angelica let go of the record Hope, which came out in 2023, was included both original songs and songs. The covers sent an upbeat message of she helped write about hope and inner power. A number of songs on the record show her wish to make her own song style, but sites like Spotify and Apple Music didn't see a rise in listening, Even though it was seen as a well-made goods, the album didn't reach more people that were used to names that sound strong business plans and a clear picture of the direction besides just music. Angelica has moved on to acting instead. Her voice work in movies and TV shows. Several movie ideas, such as American turned down a standalone comedy about 2022 contestants who are kicked off of their Were talent shows, but she only played a supporting part. It was a chance to help Angelica get better at her voice for Destiny in a number of animated movies. I played the game SpongeBob Creature from the Krusty Krab and was in the show. Digital copies of Maya Unstoppable came out. Platforms. These moves are thought about smart enough for a young artist who wants to keep from depending on. Angelica continues to use her singing voice. She is a social worker because of her power. American Kidney Fund's Youth Ambassador, the Sepsis Alliance and the Foundation. She takes part in efforts to promote stopping sepsis and organ giving. Often shows up at charity events, medical meetings and events in the neighborhood, and Angelica is always there. In particular at events held at the Children's Hospital of Atlanta, the city that saved her life, to act and talk about her life during the battle in the music after 2020. The business world got tougher when a lot of new skills. Angelica, who focuses on live concerts and important compositions, isn't in the group of trends that spread quickly. In part, she doesn't do things the way the market does them. In part because of her health does not letting her show up as often or push all the time as her peers, and her job at the same time. Angelica still had to go to school and study. Most of the time, she was taught at home. Sometimes along with part-time work. The chance to learn in public schools giving her the freedom to practice and perform, but also made big problems with not interacting with others and the stress to stay independent. Her family did well in school. Extremely helpful in helping her do well in school and with her art, but Angelica had to learn at her own pace how to give her time and energy. Keeping her body in good shape is as a top goal. Strict regular checkups, diets and avoiding getting infections. Her needs make it impossible for her to act like a typical teen. When the COVID-19 broke out, Angelica had to stop a lot of public tasks to protect her already weak immune system. At this time, she turned to putting together social media posts, websites like Instagram and YouTube, by sharing videos of her performing at home and talking to fans live. She shared a stream in a movie that it's not how often you show up, but whether when you it looks like you leave something behind. It will stick in her mind, so she chose a slow to grow up in, but sure choice. Angelica Hale is not going to be quiet. By 2023, no longer the 9-year-old girl on CNN's Got Talent show, she is now a teenager. Years when both looks and attitude. Even though she is no longer often seen in the media, Angelica has kept up a steady presence and built her career around it in her own calm but clear way. She keeps to act at certain events, setting priorities, health and community-based activities, linked charity efforts on social media. Angelica stays in touch with her regularly with fans through sites like she posts on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Videos of people singing at home music and keeping her personal life up to date in a real, humble way without a plan to get more views or keep up with the times. Angelica picks an honest and simple around. Her videos get tens of thousands views from her devoted fans base, people who have been watching her while she was in the hospital. She sang to Angelica, "Forget the Pain" in the year 2024. Went to a big event for the National that was the Kidney Foundation in Atlanta. On stage, she did more than just sing, talked about her journey through kidney organ surgeries and how important they are. Donation. The speech was shared a lot. Getting help from many medical groups and young kids like this. It wasn't the first time Angelica had, but it was the first time she did. As someone who had been through and understood every hard part of the transplant patient along with her in my playing career, 2025 was a turning point. Angelica was cast at one point in her work. The role of Trisha in Boop the musical. This was an official Broadway show. Her first full-time stage job after many years of working mostly in performances on TV and at events. During the beginning of the project, Angelica said that she worked on her for months, learning to sing, dance, and do study on to get ready for being cast in a Broadway show. Is a clear example to the seeing of her true self. Professional's ability to do the job. Neighborhood. Even though it's not heavily advertised, Angelica's show on. Judges were impressed by Broadway. And people who went to see the show. Trisha's part in the show business did not need a blast to look good, but rather needed a subtlety in how they were said. Anger was something Angelica could do. Meet thanks to what she has learned in life and mature for her years, this wasn't not only a job chance but also a room for her to prove herself again, not as an AGT candidate in the past, but as an one-person artist with a clear direction. By the middle of 2025, Angelica Hale written on Instagram that she was getting to know a new song producer to get ready for her next song. Even though she did not give out the exact name or official day that the short share came out was enough to get people excited. No longer the girl who sang Rise when she was 9 years old in front of millions of people. The right now Angelica is starting a brand new stage. A young artist who wants to change who she is in the music market is very fierce and changes a lot in a movie from behind the scenes. Angelica that this new song will be a big change when it comes to feelings and thoughts. No, not as much focused on the words of getting through tough times, hope or ideas, like the time after the AGT. She says that the new song is very real and honest, telling of the story of how a girl feels when all the people are expecting a lot from her. From being so young, she added, there were times she thought she could no longer tell the story that other people told her. Everyone thinks I'm an icon, can't be wrong, right? Want to feel sad, tired, and doubtful like anyone else my age. This change is not just a change in the song, but a sign that the real Angelica is growing up, and not just in her words and in the art she makes. Having thought after years of being, she used to be seen as a wonder girl, but now getting rid of old ideals to make a new identity more grown up and honest. And she no longer seems more independent. A lot of the time on TV does not be on big shows as often as possible, just like before. Angelica picks a way to achieve sustainable growth by on the act of writing, studying, heard advanced singing music and lots of different kinds of songs to grow her range of creative abilities. A source from the film crew said that the new song will sound modern and pop sound mixed with live instruments. This is nothing like the technical plans that people are used to. Angelica took an active part in the diary notes that help with the writing process she taped while she was getting treatment or having trouble sleeping at night because of this shows that she is not going to be a singer who sings other people's songs but is starting a journey to learn Gabriella's inner voice. For a long time fans don't see anything flashy about her, like TikTok stars or other well-known online trend, but it's the being calm, persistent, and honest in the how she wants to talk about her life, the kind of music that makes Angelica Hale unique. She doesn't try to stand out, but picks to get deeper one step at a time, and if the new song really is it will show what kind of person she is today. Be something more than just music, but a message that is quiet but strong. Angelica Hale isn't the same little girl who almost died, but a young artist is still alive and writing her own story. Angelica Hale is on good terms and is brave. Not just a skill but a way to make a living, proof of how powerful persistence can be. From the hospital bed to the stage, the attention to the quiet steps she has. You've picked a road that isn't easy but is full of life.